On today's episode, we're going to talk about the San Jose State Spartans and their rise to get to relevance in 2025. We're going to talk about the top running back rooms in the nation that I think that I'm going to fall in love with. We are T minus 9 weeks until the college football season kicks off, and I know, man, it's getting closer and closer, and I can't wait. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. If you was looking for your latest plug and everything that you needed to know in the college football world, look no further, my friend. This is the world of CFB. Welcome into the show. It's a pleasure to have you here in the building. I'm your boy Moon, credential media member of the CFB Nation and host of World of College Football. This show is hosted by CFB Nation and it's also sponsored by BetUS. Special shout out to you and you for being here early on this college football Saturday. I know it's 9 weeks and counting until the season gets kicked off, but we got it's like a countdown right now. I think it's like 67 days until the first college football game kicks, and we're gonna get everything that we want this season. But I'm here to break it all down for you. So on this show, we like to spotlight everybody in the college football ecosystem. And if you lace them up, if you play the sport, we're gonna make sure we cover you in a way that feels, true to the soul, true to the sport. And on this episode, we can't start that off by talking about any other team besides that one out there in San Jose, California. So come into the show. Let's get kicked off and tell you on this episode of World of College Football hosted by Moon that the San Jose State Spartans got something cooking up and brewing right now. I'm going to take you into the philosophical rebuild under Ken Nui Matalolo. And San Jose, California should be excited about what's coming. And hopefully a bowl game is on the horizon. From Annapolis to the Bay, wherever you need to know in the college football ecosystem, you got to know that Annapolis and Navy, they had a coach, man. They had a coach that knows how to get active. Ken Nui Matalolo's second act might even be better than his first one. And a year ago, few believed that the Navy coaching legend would actually be able to bring an immediate energy to a West Coast program that hadn't won 8 games in a regular season since the Clinton administration. But now Nui Matalolo didn't just stabilize the Spartans in 2024, he helped reignite them and take them over the edge. This is the story and the true breakdown of the San Jose State Spartans and who they will be in 2025, year of our Lord. It all starts with this guy, the returning general, Walker Egan. For all the options in this quarterback room that you have, because there's a lot of options, I promise you it is, the safest bet to open the year as the starter is Walker Egan. He's a redshirt senior who did more than just manage games last fall for you. He was competing with Emmett Brown. He flashed big time production and potential on the road and in postseason play. Listen, I want y'all to understand that this kid threw for 2,500 yards and 13 touchdowns in just 7 starts last year. I'm looking at that sample size. He closed the year strong, and he had a career best 446 yards and 3 touchdowns against number 13 Boise State at the time. So when you want him to play his best, he's going to play his best for you. Now, when you talk about just outside of him in this quarterback room, we are loaded, San Jose State fans. Absolutely loaded. Appreciate you, X. Thank you for watching this show, man. We greatly appreciate you. Happy College Football Saturday. Let's talk about the next guy. Behind Egypt is a compelling unknown that we have to talk more about. Introducing Xavier Ward into the channel. He is a former blue chip quarterback from Washington State. You know that they put out quarterbacks in Washington State. But he arrived at San Jose State after a pit stop at Sam Houston. Now, this pit stop that we have for his kid was something that I look at and I say it's a redemption, it's a revival for him. And he is going to be introducing himself into a Spartan uniform, but his pedigree that we have is absolutely undeniable, bro. It's undeniable. He was once the Sports Illustrated All America watch list. He owns a live arm. And I think that he has dual threat ability that can help make this offense even more explosive than you want them to be in 2025 if he gets some playing time. He was a star at Roosevelt High School in Southern California. He got it popping out there. He threw for 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns as a junior, and he still holds the eye for the staff as they are leaning into Mr. Xavier Ward and his skill set. I think that he can add an up tempo wrinkle that you need in this offense, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets snaps. Now you talk about the other kids. Look at that smile, man. He just lights up a room. That right there is CJ Lee. CJ Lee is a redshirt freshman from Sacramento's Jesuit High School who did everything in high school except leave doubt. Like MVP awards, he did that. School records, he owned that. A Holy Bowl performance that became a legend, he did that. He didn't just play in 2020. He didn't play in 2024, but I'm not gonna rule anything out of the equation when you look at this quarterback room. It's looking good. It's looking good. He flashes creativity when he gets on the field. He has that left athleticism that you would want to see, and it's mirroring this new age of what you want in quarterbacking. Quarterbacks that can move the pocket, move the launch angle, and allow their creativity to be center stage. Look no further than this kid, CJ Lee. Next, you see that smile? That man's a dog too. And waiting behind him is Tama Amison, the pride of Kapolei, Hawaii. And he's the first player in Hawaii State history to throw for 2,500 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in the same season. He already took the hometown hero badge and added it to himself. And at San Jose State, he could be the next island-born quarterback to shift our program's entire direction. He is the future of this quarterback room. This kid, Tama Amison. Remember the name. Now we got to shift from the quarterback room to actually getting deeper into our bag and allowing more for the stage to be set more when you're talking about the running back room. Now they got some dogs, but it's really a three-headed monster that you need to know about for San Jose State in 2025. Now I'm gonna start with the guy that I think that is going to be starting for us in this year 2025. He's been getting a lot of buzz. People have been talking about him heavy. Let's break them down. Lamar Radcliffe, the guy pictured on your screen is a sophomore. Quiet storm in 2024, but I think that you get into spring camp, it's starting to resubmit his arrival in this program and showing that he can be an absolute problem that you want him to be. Like, think about it. Against South Florida last year, the 6'1", 220 pounds, because dude is like that. He is from Sacramento, so he's local kid. He put up career high 65 yards on 15 carries, and he got the job done. He got active, and he punched his first career touchdown. So that had to feel good. But more than anything, that showed me that Lamar Radcliffe has a blend of size, has a blend of vision, and he has a kind of performance that can turn depth into an absolute superpower for San Jose State Spartans. He totaled 141 yards on 33 carries last year. And his high school resume, he put up 2,000 yards at Sacramento High. He had 370 yards against Christian Brothers. The school ain't been the same since. He enters 2025 as one of the top breakout candidates on the roster, one of the top breakout candidates in the Mountain West, and a bruiser with breakaway ability that you need to know. Let's talk to you more about the next kid. He's probably one of my favorite guys. It was hard to miss him in 2024 if you was watching San Jose State. You're talking about Floyd Chalk, not Rock Chalk Jayhawk. He's the transferred torchbearer coming from Grambling State last fall, and he wasted no time introducing himself into the situation. FBS competition, you know how players take that adjustment and you have to go from FCS to FBS, and it's a different level of physicality. By the time that we got to the end of the season, we said, oh, he adjusted. He adjusted. He led them with 721 yards, 10 touchdowns last year. And he was a physical presence that never blinked, not once, when it comes to big moments on the football field. You love to see it. And at 5'7", 192 pounds, he runs with violence. He has that purpose when he carries the rock, and he has balance. Contact balance is supreme when it comes to this kid. And I know that's a strong word, but you see him right now jumping over a block, containing his contact balance and going absolutely nuclear. He's a former three-star prospect from Bishop Alamy High School, and he's no longer a hidden gem for us, San Jose State and their fans. You have to know that this kid is going to be in the rotation this year, and they got a running back room that is loaded. Let's talk about the next guy. The next guy, I already talked about Lamar. The next guy, he makes things fun. He's the human highlight reel for San Jose State. Don't let this 5'7", 179-pound frame fool you for 1 second to thinking that Jabari Bates is not lightning in shoulder pads. He knows how to get busy, like Sean Paul. Get busy. Girl, shake that thing. You know how to get busy, man. 39 carries, 254 yards. Catching a game-winning touchdown versus Nevada, check. Turning heads on special teams, check. 347 kick return yards on the season, check. From Compton, California, most productive season in 2024. That's the kid that you like to see. And his high school tape out of St. John Bosco, it reads like a video game, like College Football 26, bro. 6 runs of 60+ yards in high school, multiple games of over 180 yards in high school, and he has track speed to match it. So you try to get into a foot race with this kid, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. Remember his face. Remember him, because he could be the spark plug for San Jose State. He's a back that can hit the crease and be gone before defenders even realize what's going on. And in a crowded room that we have, he adds a level of explosiveness, that vision, that big play electricity. When he hops on the field, San Jose State fans really got to get popping and pay attention, because look, my dog Jabari Bates probably gonna go crazy. Probably. Now we got to shift, because with a blend of Power Five bounce backs, junior college phenoms, and one local legend returning back home, it's a comeback story of the ages. San Jose State pass catchers have turned into a star of the offense, if you really want to keep it funky. Like last year, they were a question mark. This year, they are a thunderclap. And each player that I'm about to talk about is really three. Each player that I'm about to talk about is going to play a huge part into this offense and their identity and their philosophical shift in 2025, year of our Lord. Let's start first with the skyscraper. Leland Smith. We talk about Leland. It's not hard to find him on film. All you got to do is just pay attention. 6'4", 215 pounds. He towers above most cornerbacks, and it's really a blessing to have this kid in the Bay. When you look at the new program and him being in this program, he's not new to the moment though. He had a stint at Purdue for a while, and he took some good lessons in the Big Ten. 2 touchdowns in limited reps. He didn't get a lot of reps or time, but he also went to JUCO, got it out the mud at Fullerton, and he put up 655 yards and 9 touchdowns. He enters into 2025 with wide receiver 1 potential for this offense and the resume to prove it, that he got busy in lower ranks and he got Big Ten acclimated. So what does he do? What does he do in his time at San Jose State in 2025, year of our Lord? Coming up next, that kid, crazy smile, right? But he's a hometown hero coming back. There's something different about watching my guy Danny Scudero warm up, bruh, because you can feel it. Like, he's home. He's back. He was born and raised in San Jose, California. Scudero was a two-sport dynamo at Archbishop Mitty, who stayed under the radar nationally, but ended up popping off as a phenom locally, getting active. And he played 2 seasons at Sacramento State, where he went nuclear. He was named freshman All-American and totaled 667 receiving yards with 5 touchdowns in 2024. And he's back where it all started. He's not the biggest receiver. He's certainly not the fastest, but he might be the most polished route runner in all of the Mountain West. He caught at least 1 pass in every game last year. Consistency personified. He had 3 100-yard performances, including 140 yards against UC Davis and 102 yards against Nichols. Yeah, they fear this dude. And don't let that 5'9" frame fool you or get you out here tweaking. He's fearless when he's running routes over the middle. He is electric when he's in the return game, and he's an absolute menace when he's in motion. The Spartans don't just want this kid to be involved. They want him to be in rhythm. They want him to be sideline going wherever you want to go in the offense. And they have ultimate creativity getting this kid from Sacramento State. I'll say his name again. His name is Danny Scudero. Remember, Danny. Next on the wide receiver cores, and I need to talk about this kid is named Malachi Riley because if you talk about raw ability, he's as gifted as anyone in his conference, really. And you talk about the wide receiver core, he has ultimate talent that you need to see. He was a 4-star recruit out of Centennial High School out of Corona, California. And Riley was a high profile commit at the University of Arizona. He played in 14 games across 2 seasons, so he got into the thick of things. But it was injuries, system shifts, them moving coaching staff, depth charts that kept him from reaching his full potential and what he could be. And in 2024, he saw the field just 3 times overall. He caught 1 pass and logged 1 run on the season. And he said, you know what, Mo? I am taking my talents to the transfer portal, and we going out here to San Jose State. And guess what? He's back in California, back in rhythm. And maybe, just maybe, once getting back to that player that lit up high school scoreboards with 678 yards and 14 total touchdowns. He has the size, 6'1". He has the speed. He has that chip the size of the Bay Area on his shoulder. And 2025 season might be the time that my guy, Malachi Riley, gets a chance to turn potential into punishment for San Jose State. You got 3 different skill sets, whereas Malachi, whether it's Danny, or if you got my other guy, who I think could be wide receiver 1 on this team. You talk about all these weapons. San Jose State now has a vertical passing game that can stretch the field. You can now dominate matchups. And now you can be in a situation where you can win on Saturdays because you need it the most. But for all the weapons out wide in the fireworks that we talk about in the backfield and out on the receiving cores, the thing that's going to keep them to ascend in the Mountain West Conference exactly how we need them to is what happens in the shadows, what lurks in the shadows. And this is where the tight ends and the offensive line really get a chance to grind without the glamour that you see. There's no hashtags that you earned. It's all about respect. It's all about that bravado. And it's all about that confidence that you can have to play together, to gel together. Let's start first with the silent leader. That kid, that guy. That guy is Jackson Canaan. Looks like a dog. Plays like one too. Watch his film. Ask around the building and everybody knows the name. Jackson Canaan. Talk about a tone setter. Check. One name that keeps coming up over and over again is that kid. Red shirt senior from Sacramento. Cali kid. Staying home. Canaan's journey, though, is defined by persistence because he kept knocking at the door, kept knocking over and over again. And he said, you know what? I'm about to just kick the door down. He played high school running back, defensive back, linebacker. He was a freestyle swim champion. And now he anchors San Jose State's tight end room. And he's a do-it-all type of guy. He got the brains, the toughness, and he has the feel of the game that knows how to move in open space like you need him to do. He missed 2023 to injury. He stormed back in 2024 with 28 receptions, 314 yards, and 2 total touchdowns on the year. He had a standout performance against South Florida. Like, he made Air Force feel it when he got that 58-yard touchdown. And when you talk about moving the chains, he can do that. You talk about moving people out the way, he can do that. And in a conference where versatility at tight end is an absolute currency, his pass catching chops, his willingness to block in line, it's going to make him a prized asset in this team. And for this coaching staff, you have to love having Jackson Canaan on your team. You got to. Let's talk about the next group of linemen. The foundation and the 5 blocks of fire and faith is what I labeled this offensive line, because the best offenses in college football are built from the inside out. And this one has cornerstone potential when you start to look at it. You insert center Joseph Harbert, who's a San Francisco native, and he didn't even play a snap in 2022, but by the end of 2024, he was starting in the Hawaii Bowl. Like, he's a quiet and technical vet who is going to be a linchpin in this group for San Jose State in 2025. Then you talk about next to him, Tyler Chin, former Utah Tech transfer. Shout out Utah Tech. FCX getting some love on the show. Who he bounced around early in his career, though. He did. He had to find his right home. Where's home? but he found his identity and his rhythm in San Jose. And he's starting 5 games across 3 different positions in 2024. So he showcased Tyler Chin that he can be versatile. He can be smart. He can pick up different positions. And that's what you love to see in this world of college football. He also added Mountain West academic honors. So shout out to you. Clap it up. But that just showcases to me the work ethic. You have to have a high work ethic to be able to be an offensive lineman. And when you get reps against elite pass rushers, I feel like in 2025, year of our Lord, Tyler Chin is going to show that he can anchor this offensive line and be one of the anchors for it. You keep going, you talk about right tackle Pasetti Lupao, who's probably one of the most decorated players in this entire group. 2025 Phil Steele preseason first team All Mountain West. Like kid is like that, man. Lupao started in all 13 games last year. He was instrumental in San Jose State finishing top 10 nationally and fewest sacks allowed with only 12 on the season. His hands are violent. His feet calm. Like when you know it's about to rain, but it hasn't come yet, you can just smell it in the air. Calm. His upside is very clear. And on the other end of him, you got Nate Hill. He's going to be holding down, I think, the right side. And I feel like he's ready to pop. Looking at his film, he got reps on special teams last year. He's a 6'5" sophomore that can come in and that's some life. He bulked up. He got like bigger. And he also is playing, at least in the spring, from what I'm hearing, like his base, when you blocking, your base is everything. He's looking like his base has gotten stronger. All Trinity league tackle from Orange Lutheran. My man is a dog, man. And hell, he has a pedigree to kind of anchor that side. And I think he can break through in 2025 year of our Lord. We talk about the scene, bro. So many people to love, so many people to get excited about. But Coach Ken, Nui Matalolo, I've been working on your name, man. CFB Nation key metric for you. San Jose State's offensive line helped the Spartans average 321 passing yards per game in 2024. But the best mark in the Mountain West belonged to them, and the fifth best like that we see. And then you talk about the amount of sacks they give up. It was only 12 all of last year, and that was good for ninth in the entire nation. They got the consistency. They got it. Dark horse in the Mountain West. I'm telling you. You talk about Coach Kim, man, he's bringing everybody together. And you talk about losing nearly all of their offensive firepower from last year. They lost their quarterback. They lost their top 2 running backs, 3 starting offensive linemen. But it was the Spartans' defense that stabilized all of this chaos that we saw out there in San Jose. And they grinded through to get them their 3rd straight winning season and another. Like, at some point, we got to just call a spade a spade. And the defense came in clutch last year. And I have to say that Coach Ken is rubbing off on them kids. He is. Let's talk about the core, though. Built through the pain, playing through purpose, allowing themselves to really tap into their max potential. And in 2025, there is one kid that you should know in this defense, and I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. This dog of a man right here. At middle linebacker, Jordan Pollard, remember the name, first team All Mountain West leader, fresh off of a campaign where he had 115 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, unshakable control, green dot helmet wearer. The guy, he's not just a tackling machine, though. He's a tempo breaker, a wreaker of havoc. And when Pollard, he flows downhill, it's see ball, get ball, destroy ball. And with the knowledge of the film room, all of the ways that he was all over the field last year, he can be a general of this defense. He is the general of this defense coming in 2025. His 2024 production tells you that. And when you talk about a goal line bouncer, you talk about a hammer, that's the guy right there. He, remember his name, Jordan Pollard, middle linebacker. Now, you talk about the rest of this linebacker room. Flanking him on the side is Tanalia Latu. Tanalia Latu. My bad, Tanalia. A 3rd team All Mountain West linebacker who just plays like his hair is on fire. He got that slingshot type of release off the line of scrimmage. He just goes. 70 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, sideline to sideline type of dog that you need on the team. You got to have one on your team. He forces quarterbacks to make quick throws all the time. He's the type of guy that sniffs out pressures and runs. He can just blow it all up. Those misdirection plays not gonna work when it comes to him because he can read it and he has an IQ to know where the play is gonna be at before you even snap the ball. Before your quarterback even gets comfortable enough to yell out his cadence, he's already on it. He's already on it. And then on the other side, the outside, they got Ethan Powell. It's going to provide some length, some savvy, and to be honest with you, he is returning from a 43 tackle season under his belt. He's a dog. Another one that's ready to get out the cage this year. And now Rover, you got Noah McNeil Franklin, who offers twitch, toughness, and after racking up 53 tackles in 10 games last year, this coaching staff is loving where Noah is. Together, they form a linebacker room that doesn't just chase, it commands the entire field. And they don't really have many gaps. You talk about, I just gave you the one deep on every position. But you look behind them, they still got some players that can come in and add to special teams, give them some depth, high quality pieces that you need. So we talk about the linebacker room. Let's move to the front and talk about the trenches. That guy right there is Gaffa Faga. Who moon? Gaffa Faga, the emotional engine on this team. 304 pounds, nose guard, who's going to plug the middle with purpose, bro. Purpose. He takes on double teams like it's his job title. 46 tackles on the season, getting double team galore, sometimes triple team. And second team Mountain West honors. He's an anchor in the middle of this defensive line. Got to remember his face. Got to remember his name. He is like that. And around him, defensive end Justin St. Stearns. Justin Stearns has quietly developed into a reliable force for the San Jose State Spartans. He notched 28 tackles and 2 sacks last year. They also added Quincy Licchio, and he's going to add some disruption from the edge that you definitely love to see. And on the other side, you just started looking at speed, explosiveness, and they're like, whoa, San Jose State. You add in a little bit of wild cards like Uno, E2 Finau, Matahola, and Vili. I'm not even going to try to butcher your name, Vili, but you know who you are. This defensive line rotation is starting to look like it can have good gap control. It can be some bullies. It can have some bend and really collapse offensive lines and make them not be able to breathe for 4 quarters. It's not going to be relying on them flashy spin moves that you see. Not going to be relying on all the other stuff that you see. But they're going to try to collapse pockets. They're going to try to frustrate quarterbacks and centers. And they're going to be pointing. They're going to have offensive linemen pointing fingers on third downs when a quarterback gets sacked or pressure gets in their face. And offensive line like, oh, who had the job? I don't know, but Gaffa is in the backfield, and that man is going crazy. Let's talk about the back end because the back end is loaded too, at least in my humble opinion. After doing my breakdown and research of the San Jose State Spartans, one thing stood out to me 100%. A year ago, this secondary was learning on the fly and just thrust it into the fire straight up. This year, they're strapping up early. They buckled the chin strap early into spring camp and said, we're not getting abused like we did last year. It's not happening. At free safety, we got Isaiah Rivas, who returns as one of the Mountain West most complete defenders, one of your most reliable guys, a guy that really could be a starter on a lot of teams in the country, whether you talk about his depth and the amount of consistency that he provides in his production. 72 total tackles and 6 tackles for a loss, my friend. 5 pass breakups, so he's clamping up with defenders. He got the range to try to erase wide receivers. He can erase some big plays for you. He has that physicality to stick his nose into a tackle. He can drop his shoulder and lay that boomstick on crossing routes. He got the instincts to match. You turn them close calls that you see into turnovers for your team. And look no further than Isaiah Rivas. He's going to be the guy to try to get it done for you. And then you look deeper in this cornerback room, it started to get a facelift for real. And it's getting a facelift with power conference pedigree. Enter into the mix and into the group chat, Caleb Presley, a former Washington signee who has a pedigree to become a lockdown type of corner that you see on the perimeter for this defense. Malachi Crawford, long, rangy, USC transfer, 6'4", is Malachi Crawford. He's a perfect counter to this Mountain West big receivers that you see all over the place in the Mountain West. No, we got a guy like Malachi, got Caleb Presley. Them boys gonna be able to match up against some bigger receivers. And then at strong safety, things stayed active. This is one of my favorite groups on the entire team. Can't wait to see y'all on CFB Nation Tour, San Jose State. But I'm going to be looking forward to see Jalen Appolite Williams. He's going to be returning with more confidence, more leadership. He's pictured in the middle. And he's going to be flanked with some rising names like Larry Turner, Gooder, and Hunter Noel. They're going to be trying to take that next step in 2024. And what does that look like? They will be better equipped to handle teams with tempo. They're going to be better equipped to handle vertical threats. They're going to be deeper, faster, and just having a staff that actually believes in their progression. They believe in their development. They're showcasing that to us. They are. So when I look at that, I feel like this team is better in a better position in the back end than I really have seen in a minute. CFB Nation key metric 14 and 15 and 4. San Jose State is 15 and 4 at home over their last 19 games. That's not a trend. It's a warning to everybody in the Mountain West. When you come to CEFU, that's what it's gonna feel like. CEFCU Stadium. You better bring your painkillers. You better bring your A game. You better bring everything that you need because it's not just a pretty sight. It's a place that's gonna get rocking because this defense is gonna live off of chaos. This defense is gonna live off of making you earn every single yard in 2025. And it's all starting with this guy, Ken Nui Matalolo, the all-time winningest head coach at Navy. Put some respect on his name. He's known for triple option offenses and unshakable discipline. But guess what? He shifted his entire identity when he came to San Jose State, and he's now leading one of the most balanced and ascending rosters in the group of 5 that we should be paying attention to. He inherited just 7 returning starters from his team. He inherited the 3rd toughest schedule in the Mountain West and still became the first San Jose State coach since 1976 to start 3-0 on a season. He ended the season with 7 wins, the most by a first-year Spartans coach since 1992. He's coming in and already shaking down his program, saying, look, you about to get introduced to a new standard of winning. And this is what it looks like the Ken Nui Matalolo way. Because 2025 feels different for San Jose State because his defense is no longer compensating for attrition. It's driving. It's going to be a driving force of expectation in this year. And Nui Matalolo said it best. Last spring, we were struggling to even get plays off. This spring, we look like a real football team. And he won 7 games with that team last year. Man, I'm your boy Moan. This is World of College Football, and I'm here to tell you that you need to pay heavy attention to the Mountain West Conference and what is going on with the San Jose State Spartans. And the pulse out there in San Jose State is rising right now. And the fans, if you watch this deep dive and this breakdown, just know Coach Ken Nui Matalolo, he's going to make sure you're in good hands like all state. Are you in good hands? I know you are with San Jose State. This is the world of CFB. I am your boy Moon, credential media member of the CFB Nation, hosted by CFB Nation. And this is World of College Football, my podcast that I created to spotlight the entirety of the college football world. Because if you lace them up and you play the game, we try to cover you in the right way, the one that feels close and deeply rooted to the soul. So in today's episode, we already talked about the wonderful world of everything going on out there in San Jose. In San Jose State's philosophical rebuild under Ken Nui Matalolo. Listen, pay attention to this team. You know, there's some teams that not a lot of people want to give love or give praise because everybody is so concerned about the big boys at top. But you talk about a team that can try to challenge Boise State for that money. because everybody's projecting Boise State to be, and they should be. I mean, you look at their schedule, and it's like, man, they're favored in every single game outside of one. I think this is a team that could come in and like cause some chaos and cause some controversy for the college football world. And it'll be done by a coach that has done it his way at Navy with Ken Nui Matsalolo, and he's doing it his way, and he's breaking records, bro. He's breaking records. I gotta just go back and tell you this the stat that I left off with, because I was mind blown when when I was doing my research and I found out this stat about Coach Ken. Coach Ken is in a situation where he was the first ever San Jose State coach since 1976 to start 3-0 on a season. He ended that year in 2024 with 7 wins. That was the most by a first year coach for the Spartans of San Jose State since 1992. What was popping in 1992? I wasn't even born yet. I was not born yet. They had 7 returning starters come. Third toughest schedule in the Mountain West to say, you know what? Hold my beer, moon. We about to go to work. We about to go to work. So, we talked about a lot in this episode already. But San Jose State fans, that's the breakdown of your team heading into 2025 season. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and your comments in the show's comments. We appreciate you watching. The numbers have been going up for the show. I have been noticing, and I just want to give y'all love before we move to the next segment. I appreciate y'all taking any ounce of time, effort, or energy to soak in this content. We greatly appreciate you. We try to do it and give it to you the right way without all the fluff and all the dramatics and all that. We just really try to storytell here and give you stories that matter. So in the world of college football, we starting off the show with San Jose State bomb. And now we move to talking about one of my favorite things, run game renaissance that's happening in all of college football. Because, bro, I don't know if you noticed lately, but college football has a lot of running back rooms that you should look at and say, my goodness, they are stacked. Do you see this? So here I'm about to tell you about the run game renaissance that we see in college football and backfields that are built for glory in 2025 and just trying to take it all the way to the tops for national championship. You can have a 5-star quarterback, check. You can have the flashy offensive coordinator, check. You can even have the spread sets, the veer and shoot offense. You can have a motion heavy playbook. You can do ground and pound like old Wisconsin. You can try to do triple option like Navy. But when it's 3rd down and 4 in December weather and the whole stadium knows you about to run the gosh darn football, what happens next says everything about your team. You got teams like Brent Key and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets that will literally pound you in the mouth on 3rd down and 6, 3rd down and 4 in cold weather and say, we know who our identity is. Welcome to the run game renaissance of college football. And in 2025, it's not all about the wide open offenses that you see. It's about which programs can line up and take people's lunch money. They can take what's theirs. And there's led by tailbacks who run angry and backfields that are built with toughness. They're built with depth and grit. Ultimate trust that these programs have in these superstars. Some are headlined by superstars. Some are deep and loaded, and there's no clear drop off. But all of the running back rooms that I'm about to mention and talk about, they're built for big moments. They're built for bad weather. They're built to close out games. And you saw some of them do it last year. Let's get this party started off right. Penn State Nittany Lions fans, what's popping? Lightning, thunder, and something even scarier, because this is the deepest, most experienced backfield in all of college football, led by that guy. Nicholas Singleton brings the flash, the smoothness, the explosive home run hitter who can turn nothing into 6 points, and he's hitting his head on the goalpost. But make no mistake, he's not finesse, bro. He's physical when it counts the most. He's one of the best receiving backs in the entire country, one of the alphas who's waiting to break out in this season. And it all comes down to this for Nick Singleton. It all comes down to this. And then his running mate right behind him. Some people like him more than Nick Singleton I just talked to you about. He's the soul of this offense. Katron Allen, built like a brick wall, who got vision and footwork that you would love to see. He thrives in between the tackles. He absorbs contact like it owes him lunch money. And together they combine for over 3,000 rushing yards, nearly 40 starts, and a relentless work rate. James Franklin, if he can do anything right, is he knows how to use his running backs. Sometimes it's a little frustrating because you want to see them both get more touches because you know that any other offenses in college football, both of these guys will be RB1. So to have this is a luxury. It's all a luxury. But behind them, they have a stable of blue chip recruits that are coming in. Corey Smith, Quentin Martin, and Jabri Wallace Coleman is all coming in, waiting for carries, and they're all good enough to start at 70 plus programs all across this world of college football. This is a luxury that Penn State has. And it's also a statement that Penn State doesn't need to guess who gets the ball in 2025. They got the answers. And no matter the situation that they find themselves in, they will be able to run the football with that guy and that guy. Kayshawn Allen, Nicholas Singleton. Now let's talk about Notre Dame. Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love and the orchestra of pain that he's bringing behind him. It all starts with the best back in America. Best back in America is Jeremiah Love, who doesn't just run. He erases angles. He makes it incredibly difficult for you to keep up with him because once he gets to the second level, bro, you might as well just look at your defensive coordinator because he's throwing his clipboard. He's mad. He's angry because chances are it's either a highlight reel or a touchdown. Last year, he broke tackles like it was his hobby. This year, I expect him to return as the face of a playoff contender in Notre Dame. And here's the part that nobody seems to be talking about, though, when you talk about Notre Dame. Their depth is absolutely vicious, bro. You enter in this kid, who some could say could be the RB1 in any other situation, but he's a legit number two, a downhill guy. Jadarian Price comes in with great balance. He leads all power four returners in yards at the contact per carry. They also have Aeneas Williams, who's coming in to add burst in the screen game. Keydron Young, who was a 2024 signee who came in, who's going to get active. And then you talk about a future SEC back with frame. They got that on their team. Two freshmen, Nolan James Jr., who's coming in. Absolute dog. He was one of the top backs ranked in the country when he just came out. So in all of short, not to just, spend 100 minutes on Notre Dame, but they got a full string section of problem solvers, and that's why I call it an orchestra. Because whether it's short yardage, whether it's the unflashy rugby scrum, where you just need eye pro formation, is just heavy on heavy, they can keep it moving. They got speed, they got contact balance, they got power, they got explosiveness, and more importantly than anything, they seem to have that guy, Jeremiah Love, who's an absolute menace. Let's talk about the next one, Texas. Texas fans, horns up. I'm not putting the horns down. Last year was supposed to be Contravian Wazer's time, but all he did was post 1,000 plus yards and run through SEC contact like it absolutely mattered the most. You watched him, you said, yo, that kid is nice. He's good. And now, Contravian, he has company because CJ Baxter, the former number one running back recruit, is back after missing 2024 with a major injury. Oh, it's getting popping in Texas this year. Fully healthy, this dynamic 1-2 punch, and they still got options in the backfield. They're going to give Texas a true bell cow option yet again. And I feel like both of them, Baxter and Wisner, are the types of backs that can finish drives, that can silence crowds, and just look no further than what they did last year, bro. Like, look at it. The rotation doesn't end there. Last year, you saw Texas go into Michigan and absolutely pummel them boys. And they started with the run game. They also got Jareek Gibson, Christian Clark, and James Simon, who are all former four-star recruits with skill sets that can be utilized in this offense by Steve Sarkisian that you would want. They can do inside zone, counter, screen game. Steve Sarkisian has every single type of runner that you will hope for or that a man could dream of. He has that. This is the deepest Texas backfield since the Bijan Roshan era, and maybe even more versatile than we see right now. Let's move on to the next team. Louisville, L's up, baby. L's up, baby. This room was supposed to rebuild, but yet they didn't get that memo. It might be the most dangerous running back room in the entire country, and it all starts with this kid. Isaac Brown showed up as a 3-star freshman and proceeded to lead all Power 4 running backs in rushing yards. Oh, man, that man has 7.2 yards per carry. He was just pain on repeat over and over again as Clemson. Ask these other teams that he played last year. He's electric and also tough. Tough enough to run through contact, tough enough to hit his head on the goalpost because you can't tackle him and bring him down in the second level. He plays through contact, and that's not even the scary part. The scary part is L's Cardinals fans. Listen, bro, they got a kid in Duke Watson, who's another freshman who posted 8.7 yards per carry. That's 9 yards a pop. He didn't even have the volume that you would want. And Jeff Brom knows he got a 2 deep, possibly 3 deep in the backfield. And how does Louisville just keep getting these guys? How? That got excellent vision. That got the burst that you would want. Every single time that this kid touched it, you had to hold your breath because it's like, bro, what is about to happen? And between the two of them, Isaac Brown and Duke Watson, they bring a combo that can be feared in the ACC. Absolutely. And their production is just flat out scary. 100%. They're only getting better. And I feel like that should really terrify every single defensive coordinator in the ACC and every single team that they have to play in 2025. Because them boys is going to be loaded. A&M, bruisers with breakaway speed. This group runs angry, led by Le'Veon Moss. He's a tone setter for you. And before his knee injury, man, he was a terror, just absolutely going crazy for Texas A&M, running between the tackles, stiff arming safeties, dragging defenders like they were backpack, on the road and with things and knickknacks too. That's what I think about when I think about Le'Veon Moss before injury, just carrying defenders like backpacks. And then it doesn't even stop there because they still got Amari Daniels. Amari Daniels is a veteran with over 1,500 career rushing yards. And Ruben Owens, who is a former 5-star who is healthy again. All you need them to do is just stay healthy. If Texas A&M running back stay healthy, this can be a hidden gem in this team. Hidden gem because they got the top end speed, the physicality to play in the league. They got receiver type skill sets in this room. You add in E.J. Smith, who's the son of Emmitt Smith, former Stanford lead back. And also, you look at this team, you say, man, they got some power, polish, pedigree, the name power, star power. They got a lot. Texas A&M, I'm not sleeping on you this year, bro. Let's take a trip out there to the West, out there in Oregon. They found the portal and said, we're going to bring in Mekhi Hughes, former Tulane running back who ran for nearly 2,800 yards at Tulane over 2 years. He doesn't dance when he's on the field. He hits the hole. He keeps it moving, keeps the chains moving. He's decisive. He's direct. He's sudden. He has that physicality that you want. He's been putting up a lot. You see his frame when he came in from his early days to where he is now. Complete renovation. Complete renovation. And you look at Oregon's offense, I'm not saying he's a Michael James. I'm saying he's the Anthony Thomas because y'all still love them. I'm saying that he can get the job done. I'm saying that Dante Moore now can look back in his backfield and hand the ball off to a dude. That's what I'm saying. And then behind him is not it doesn't stop. Noah Whittington now in year 4. Leadership, consistency personified. He's got nearly 1,500 career rushing yards, and he understands the system in Autzen 100%. Inside and out, he knows it. This duo is going to give them a perfect blend of production, poise, a safety net of directness and suddenness. They're going to be able to hit holes in this offense, and the depth chart behind them is still loaded. Quietly, Oregon is built to run through the Big Ten gauntlet, and they're going to be able to run the ball this year. Do I have some questions about their offensive line? Yeah, of course. We all do. But we look at where we are right now. These two guys between Whittington and Mekhi Hughes, I feel like they can get the job done for Oregon, and they're going to be a sight to see. Oregon fans, how you feeling about these pickups? Now let's take a trip to Boomer Soda. Boomer Soda. Top end talent with some fresh legs and hoping to stay healthy. That guy is Jaden Ott, formerly at Cal. Got a chance to see him at ACC Media Days, and I was expecting huge things, and then injuries happened. This guy's going to give Oklahoma a proven big power runner who can catch out of the backfield, has the explosiveness. He knows how to embrace contact in open space, and then he knows how to put on him and then get busy. And when he's healthy, he's an every single down type of guy. He already has 2,000 career yards already in Jaden Ott. His emergence and his him hitting his apex and his ceiling at Oklahoma is very much so possible. But then when you start looking at the other guys on this team, you're like, whoa, this is returning starter Javante Barnes, who's played in big games. Taylor Tatum, former number one running back in the class of 2024. He's waiting in the wings. And by midseason, this could be one of the scariest running backs groups in all of the SEC, bro. Really one of the most complete rooms in the country. And they're not just loaded, they're strategic in who they're bringing in because they got weapons that can fit every type of game script that you can want. Whether you're playing from behind, whether you're playing with the lead, or you're trying to ground and pound somebody out of the building, they can do it. Oklahoma can definitely do it. But it is definitely exciting to see Jaden Ott back in a place that I feel like can value him. Not to say that Cal didn't, but they had their struggles. Oklahoma can value Jaden Ott, and he's entering into a running back room that's going to be filthy in 2025. Georgia Gold Dogs. Woo, 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 woo. The rebirth of RBU. Don't look now, but the Georgia Bulldogs might be quietly restocking the throne. And it's led by Nate Frazier, a sophomore who led Georgia in rushing last year as a true freshman. And he was a great bright spot due to all the injuries and how they were banged up last year. You talk about his explosiveness. He's explosive. He's patient. He's sudden. He carries that ACC thunder and confidence that you would want that it really can't be taught. He has that bravado that you would want in a Georgia running back. He runs angry. He runs like he has that chip on his shoulder, and it's only getting larger. It's only getting larger. To me, I see this competition, and he's the guy that I'm most excited for in this running back room. 100%. But it doesn't just stop with him. It gets even nastier because they added Josh McCray, who came from Illinois, and he's bringing that bruising Big Ten type of confidence and experience. They already have Cash Jones, who's one of the best receiving backs in the country. And behind him, they have four deep, a wave of blue chip tailbacks, whether it is Chauncey Bowens, Dwight Phillips, Bo. Like they are loaded, man. In Georgia, it's not 2017 Georgia, but it's not far off when you look at this running back room, just how loaded they are. And we have some dogs on those teams. No pun intended. Honorable mentions and teams that I cannot forget. Minnesota has a two-headed running back room that I'm looking at that can be monsters in the North. Darius Taylor is a throwback type of back that you love to see. He's built to run through contact. He catches the check down passes and can get upfield and be decisive. He hit 20 carries on the offense without even blinking. You look up and you see, dang, Darius already got 20 carries. Yup, they're going to give him the ball. He leads all Power 4 returners in receiving grade, and he runs like he's mad. He runs like he's angry, and that's what I love with running backs. If the play wasn't called for him, he's running like he's mad that the play wasn't called for him. That's what you see with him. And then you look behind him with Darius. I'm hoping he can continue to stay healthy, man. Like, bro, AJ Turner, the Marshall transfer. He left Marshall after the Charles Huff debacle, and they left. He came and said, I'm going to Minnesota. He's a home run threat. I saw AJ Turner absolutely torch Georgia State with my own eyes on the CFB Nation tour when we went to Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. I saw with my 2-round eyes a kid hit his head on the goalpost multiple times, and Georgia State couldn't do anything to stop him. And this is what the offensive line is not even in the same caliber as what Minnesota's offensive line is. Bro, AJ Turner is going to bring some balance, some expertise in his running back room. He's seen some things, even though he's a young guy still. He's still seen some things. He got some big play juice and energy that you would not expect. That man was so good against Georgia State that it made me say, dang, bro, I got to go home and play a Marshall Dynasty just so I can run for 200 plus yards with AJ Turner. You would have thought this man's name was Michael Turner, the burner. Let's move on to the next one. Minnesota, you're going to be loaded this year. Baylor. Young, physical, and dangerous. Bryson Washington is one of the breakout stars in the Big 12 and in the nation in 2025. Mark my words. 1,000 plus yards, great feet, in a workhorse type of mentality. When Baylor decides to give him the rock, they give him the rock. This man went over 180 plus yards multiple times in games last year. He can be that bell cow type of back that you will look at in this offense. And Baylor fans, I know you out there. I know you listening. Baylor fans, let's be real. Who can rock? Who can F with our running back right now? Be for real. Be for real. That's the type of energy that y'all should have and the bravado that y'all should have, knowing that that kid is your guy. Breakout star in the Big 12. Break out. And then they got Dawson Pendergrass, who complements him absolutely perfectly. Physical, patient, fearless in short yardage situations. You love to see it. They actually got a true freshman named Michael Turner, who's not going to be needed right away. But don't be surprised if he's in the running back rotation by the time we get to October, November, as the season starts to wind down more. This Baylor backfield is built to control the clock. They're built to control close games, and they're built to keep defensive lines on skates because the system is going to just be predicated on explosion. Explosion. And it starts with that guy on your screen. Absolutely. From the top dogs at like Alabama and Georgia and some of the other teams that we mentioned, even Michigan. Michigan now adds Justice Haynes from Alabama. A lot of people didn't like Justice Haynes' performance at Alabama. If you're a Roll Tide fan, well, he's on a different uniform, different experience being in Michigan, and I'm looking for him to have a better season in a Michigan jersey. Some kids just need a fresh place, a new set of eyes to work with them in a scheme that actually fits their skill set. And I think Michigan's scheme can fit Justice Haynes' skill set, so I have to add Michigan into that mix just based on alone that we're gonna know that they're gonna try to be physical and run their rock in 2025. We just look at all of these teams in the playoff era. The passing game might get you attention and it might get you that glitz and the glamours that you love. For real, for real. Like you look at this, the star power with quarterbacks galore in the Big 12. That alone in itself can get a man feeling some type of way. But I'm just telling you, these running back rooms that I talked to you about are battle tested. They're built for cold weather. They're built to protect leads. They're built to work with game scripts, and they're built to flip fields. They're built to kill clock. They're built to take your chain and all that energy that you came in with when you came into this arena and came into the stadium. They're built to wipe away that smirk on your face. They're built to take your lunch money, and most of them are playing behind offensive lines that we're looking at that's going to be creme de la creme. I'm looking at Minnesota's offensive line. I'm thinking it'll be creme de la creme, probably top 25 offensive line in the nation. They trying to shoot and aim for higher than that. When I see just where we are right now, when the dust settles and November comes, don't be surprised if the teams that I just mentioned are still standing because they have depth behind the quarterback and they are trusting their running game and not the flash in front of the running back. Because backs matter. Backs matter them a lot. And in this year, I truly feel like 2025 is going to be a year where the ground game kind of turns back the clock and we start seeing dominant performances by running backs all over the nation. You know how last year it felt like Ashton Genty or bust. It kind of felt like, dang, there were still some great guys that was going crazy, but he got all the star power. You're going to look around the nation, you're just going to look at the running back rooms, and you're going to be like, my gosh, like, is it really this crazy? Yes, it is. And this is the wonderful world of college football. I'm your host, Moon, and this is why I feel like there's a run game renaissance in 2025. And from Oregon to Louisville, from Texas all the way out to Notre Dame, from Penn State having the best backfield in probably the nation. What happens when you are at 3rd down and 4 in December, when the weather is going crazy, the whole stadium knows you about to run the gosh darn football? What can you do? What happens next after that moment is going to say everything about your program in 2025. Yeah, by Lord.
Look at you out here using all these other sports books and you ain't even using the best one. BetUS, get 125% match bonus when you use the promo code CFB Nation. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFB Nation. We know that college football is in the off season, even though we don't celebrate that. CFB Nation, we do college football 24/7, but there are plenty of things for you guys to bet on.
Who will have the most wins? OKC Thunder or Cleveland Cavaliers? Can Luka and LeBron make it all mesh to make it to the play-in tournament? Maybe you're a college basketball guy ready to risk it all for Florida to make it to the big dance.
Basketball isn't for you? Maybe you're a football guy. Well, BetUS got you covered with this year's UEFA Championship. Can Liverpool or Barcelona win it all? Will Erling Haaland or Harry Kane lead their teams to victory?
May is going to get popping when the Kentucky Derby hits town. BetUS has you covered in that way too, with all major horse racing events. Point is, type in that promo code CFB Nation and go get that money. Go get that money, twin. We greatly appreciate BetUS. Special shout out to you, our host, CFB Nation, and also our sponsors. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here in the building. Happy Saturday to you. College football Saturday is getting closer. We're like, 9 Saturdays away from when we can actually breathe again. I know that I'm feeling great. We just talked about running backs and pretty much the power four, but I wanted to keep going with it because it's not just the power four that has loaded running backs. I'm keeping my continuation of the running back relevance series going just to drive home this point that there are running backs all around the nation that are ready to take people's lunch money in 2025. Like, let's just look at G5 by itself. Don't even look at anywhere besides G5. Picture this. George Pettaway plants his right foot near the 20-yard line, and then he explodes out of a cut, and he hits a cutback lane just like he's a piston. And this just gone off to the races. Like, that's what you're going to see a lot of in 2025 for JMU. Then you get Ayo Adeyi, who is a North Texas transfer who's coming in for JMU. And this kid is like speed personified, what you will see. Like, the Sun Belt in itself is quietly built one of the most complete, the deepest, and most dynamic running back ecosystems that we see in all of college football. And you might like, dang, Moon, it's loaded in the P4 and it's loaded in Sunbelt too. It's loaded in G5. Yes. Across 14 programs, 23 running backs return after eclipsing 300 rushing yards last season, year of our Lord. 7 schools bring back multiple running backs with over 400 plus yards in the Sunbelt. In 3 programs, James Madison, Appalachian State, and Texas State each returned 3 backs plus who ran for at least 450 yards in 2024 year of our Lord. I'm not trying to be repetitive, bro, but I will drill it home to you. This is the running back renaissance year. And you talk about production on steroids. The Sun Belt running backs logged 3,892 carries last season, the most among FBS conferences. This league averaged 189.3 rushing yards per game. That ranked 3rd nationally, only behind the big boys, the SEC and the Big Ten. 7 different running backs averaged at least 6 yards per carry on 75 plus attempts. Running backs from the Sun Belt accounted for 42.7% of the Sun Belt's total offensive production. I'm giving you bars, bro. Straight cash money ball talk. James Madison has a four-headed nightmare with Gatorade players of the years, running backs that didn't get their shot at North Carolina and now breaking onto the scene with George Pettaway. Look, Big Mario Gaming, appreciate you watching. 2025 is going to be the year of the running back. I'm all there with you, Big Mario. Thank you for watching. App State. The Mountaineers return Kanye Roberts, who's violent downhill. He has 1,000 career rushing yards, 5.7 yards per carry, and it's not just him for App State. You look at Rashad Dominion, Arkansas transfer, who had 886. He had 888 SEC rushing yards. Bro, another layer of physicality just entered the door in App State, and most people don't even want to talk about it. They still got Nate Noel, who remains one of the most reliable closers in the league, 2,200 rushing yards career. Together, this trio between Kanye Roberts, Rashad Dubignon, and Nate Noel, 5.3 yards a tote last year, bro. Come on, man. Come on. It's an assembly line. Oh, it just stops there, Moon. No, it doesn't. Texas State, Lincoln Parry at Texas State rushed for 554 yards. He scored 8 times, and he won MVP honors in the First Responder Bowl that he was approved for CFB Nation. Taurus Burgess Jr. is a Texas kid, UTEP transfer, was coming in with 1,100 all-purpose yards, my dog. And this was in 2023. Then they got true freshman Devin Spencer was coming in too. 4.38 clocked 40 in high school. That's another three-headed punch in the Sun Belt with Texas State. Like, bro. I'm trying not to freak out, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm just trying to like let me just keep giving you bars. South Alabama has Kentrell Bullock. He had 894 yards last year, 5.9 yards per tote. Patient, high volume workhorse. Fluff Bothwell just left. So what? We don't care about fluff. Get out all the fluff, anyways. We got Kentrell Bullock. Georgia Southern has OJ Arnold, who had 316 rushing yards, 145 receiving yards, and I witnessed it with my own eyes twice. Once last year for Georgia Southern versus Georgia State. This man went stupid on us. I'm a Georgia State fan and Georgia Tech fan and Clark Atlanta fan. I love all Atlanta schools. But that man took our soul that day. Arkansas State got Jaquez Cross, bro. Arkansas State has Jaquez Cross, who went for 1,116 all-purpose yards in 2023, and he just drives in space. Southern Miss rebuilt their entire team with Marshall transfers and still wound up with Robert Briggs from Utah State and Matt Jones. Yes, that Matt Jones from Ole Miss. Who? Mike Jones. I had to do it. Look, man, we talk about straight ball talk here. It's none of the fluff. It's none of the extraness. It's straight ball talk. And we're going to talk to you not just about the Power 4 guys. We're going to talk about the guys actually getting out the mud, too. That man, look, bro, you talk about efficiency and you're just talking about numbers because some people are still not convinced yet. And I get it. They're not an SEC running back, Moon. They're not an SEC running back. They're not be able to hold their weight at Arkansas. I get it. But some of these kids, let's talk about numbers. The Sun Belt had 87 runs of 20-plus yards. That was fourth in the FBS. 63% of red zone touchdowns came from running backs in the Sun Belt. 5.1 missed tackles forced per game. That was second in the country, trailing only the other conference, a.k.a. the SEC. Keep going on. Okay. 3.9 yards after contact per carry. That was the most among G5 conferences for the Sun Belt. These dudes got some dogs, man. Some dogs, I tell you. You talk about just the scheme and why it works. When you just go even deeper in ball talk. JMU runs the outside zone scheme that just stretches gaps, creates cutback lanes, and this is going to help George Pettaway and Adeye. That's going to help them so much. JMU, chef's kiss. Wow, they're just perfect offense. And then you switch it up. And then App State, they got the inside power game. This is going to help Kanye Roberts, Rashad Doombignons, and they have that bruising running style. App State going to lean into it. Inside power me, please, and thank you. Texas State, what did they do? Veer and shoot, spread it out wide. But this is going to give Lincoln Paré some space, some mismatches, overwhelm in the box. Georgia Southern, what did they do? Spread option hybrid. That's probably going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the entire country. USC, you better watch out. Week 2. Georgia Southern going to try to come in there and put up points. And it all starts with OJ Arnold. They had Jalen White last year. Jalen White was still a dog. But Arnold, he's a Swiss Army knife that Coach Clay Helton is going to love, bro. He already loves that kid. So in a pass-heavy era that we see in college football, I just dropped straight bars on you, just telling you that but don't forget about the Sun Belt, bro. Don't forget about these other conferences because there's still a lot. George Pettaway. Like, they even brought in transfer guys. George Pettaway came from UNC. Rashad Doombignons at App State, he came by way of Arkansas. Kentrell Bullock came by way of Ole Miss. Robert Briggs came by way of Utah State. Matt Jones came from Ole Miss. Ayo Adeye came from North Texas. All of these running backs that I just mentioned were cast to the wayside, and now they're centerpieces for their teams. How does this work? Because sometimes you get overlooked, and it's not because you can't ball out. You just need a shot. You just need an opportunity. And some of these young guns that I didn't even mention, but I'm just going to talk about him anyway. Watch out for him. Devin Spencer at Texas State. He has elite burst. He's ready made for open space. GJ Kinney, gotta love that kid. Devin Spencer. Then you got Joby Mallory at JMU, who's a breakout watch, former state player of the year. Gotta love him. And Markari James from Old Dominion and ODU. I didn't even mention ODU. Sorry, ODU and the Monarchs. But y'all got a red shirt weapon with track speed that can come in, who had 1,800 yards in high school. Sunbelt is stacked, bro. It's sustainable. It's built for crazy chaos on Saturdays. When I say the stat that 67% of points scored was from running backs, that is insane. That's insane, bro. Numbers can even tell you that. But in a sport obsessed with tempo, verticality, where you're going stretching the field vertically, the Sun Belt said, man, bump all that. We're going to go back to our most fundamental things and our most fundamental elements in football. Running backs who get yards when there's nothing there. A running back that can turn a first down and 10 to a second down and 5. A running back that can just break through and just make a man miss, and now you hit your head on the goalpost. This is what we want, developmental guys, because think about it. The Sun Belt gets poached all the time. The Sun Belt gets poached by everybody all the time. Every year. I'm a Georgia State fan. Ted Hurst, I was holding on to my pillow at night. Like, man, Ted Hurst, please don't enter the transfer portal. You had almost 1,000 yards last year. Please don't leave. Please, I'm begging you. I talked to him at the last game of the season. His family was like, man, you could have had 1,000 yards if you had a quarterback. I said, oh, man, that man is cooked. He's gone. He's gone. Because you see Sunbelt just get poached from other conferences all the time. Fluff Buffalo said, man, I'm going to Mississippi State. Ishmael Mahdi said, oh, I'm going to Missouri. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is where we're going with. This is where we at right now. But on Saturdays, this is one of the most deepest backfield groups in all of Group of 5. I could go into the other conferences too, because the American has some running backs. Freaking Blake Horvath can count as a running back by himself. He should be in Heisman consideration, but this is the wonderful world of college football. I'm your boy Moan, and this is where we get it popping. Welcome to the show. Talking out the side of your neck. What's wavy? It's your boy Moon, credential media member of DCFB Nation, host of the stream. And this is sponsored by BetUS. Welcome to the podcast. This is World of College Football. We like to spotlight everybody. If you lace them up, put the pads on, put them cleats on Saturdays, Fridays, Thursdays, or Tuesdays, if you're a Maxian school, we try to talk about you, because everybody deserves some credit and everybody deserves some love in this college football ecosystem, because we can't have college football without all of us. 100%. Got to stick together. So on the rest of this show, I'm about to give you my 10-minute wind down, cool down, where we break down a topic that's so far in advance that it seems crazy, but it has relevance to where we are right now. This is the World of CFB, hosted by Moan, and on this episode, we want to take a look at the 2027 NFL draft class. Moan, 2026 is right around the corner. Why are you talking about 2020? Because they got that kid. Jeremiah Smith could have went number one wide receiver off the board last year. He could have went number one off the board last year. Let's be honest. Everybody, raise your hand if you agree with me. And I'm not just talking out the side of my neck like my theme song. Jeremiah Smith running a wide receiver one. Like, come on, bro. You can feel it coming. There's a storm that's swelling underneath the surface. And in college football's second-year phenoms that are absolutely going crazy right now. And it's not just about potential that we see. This is about a class that feels as freakish as we gotten in a while. It just feels like it was manufactured in a lab by Dexter. And Didi wasn't even in the way this time. That man had ample amount of time to cook. The 2027 NFL draft might be a long shot, but it could absolutely redefine how we scout talent entirely all over the place because we're not just talking about college stars right now. We're talking about NIL phenoms. We're talking about kids that look like superhuman mutants, like they could have been Teen Titans. And they're not just on the horizon, they are coming. They are here. Here. Let me introduce to you my breakdown on why the 2027 NFL draft class will change college football as we know it. Let's start with this first guy, Jeremiah Smith. Every few decades, someone walks into the field and just completely rewrites expectations for a position. I think about like Cam Newton. Cam Newton, what he did at Auburn that year, just completely redefined what it felt like to play a quarterback position, especially in the SEC. Like 2 times stint in the SEC, by the way, coming from Florida, then going to JUCO. Crazy situation. We don't even got to talk about that. But he got it popping at Auburn, took him to a national championship. That's first clear case. And every year, every like few years, few decades, we see that happening where players just come in and they just look like a dog. Just think about it in your memory bank. Think about all just the generational type of athletes that we've gotten where you feel like, man, they could have played in a time like this. Like I think about if Reggie Bush could have played in this era of college football, would he still been like that? Could Justin Blackman at Oklahoma State, regardless of what you think about Justin Blackman at in Jacksonville Jaguars and his stint for everything else, like that man put up numbers at Oklahoma State. He was a just generational type of college football player, and the stats back it up to prove it. You talk about kids that don't get a lot of love, but they could be deemed as like elite variations of talent that we don't get a chance to see all the time. And I'm trying to make the comparison that these next versions of kids that I'm talking about all have those archetypes. It just makes me think like Julio Jones, for example. Julio Jones coming out of Alabama was absolutely crazy. Crazy. Just think about Alabama's receiving cores that they had over the last, 20 years. Just think 20 years. And it's gotten better and just more freakish and more loaded. And now they got Ryan. I'll talk about him later. It starts with this kid, 6'3", 215 pounds. Jeremiah Smith looked like an absolute senior as a freshman. And he played like the best receiver in America, and Tetsuroa McMillan still exists. He played like it. The eye test is absolutely violent and is evident, and the numbers, they're even more visceral because the nation's leading 15 touchdowns on the season. That kid, every time he lines up on the field, he lines up with that stank face type of energy because he's a dog and everybody knows it. And we can't stop it. And it's so unfair. How did they just keep getting away with this? Especially think about Breaking Bad. Why does he keep getting away with this? That's what it feels like, bro. Over 1,300 yards, a receiving grade near 90 in your freshman season. This is the wide receiver one in college football. And maybe the wide receiver one in the last 5 years. Maybe the number one overall pick in 2027. Possibly. Then it doesn't stop, bro. You got DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway throws it like a bazooka. And he's not even close to being his full polished self yet. DJ Lagway led the Power 4 in big time throw rate. And he didn't even play the whole season. The deep ball, absolutely filthy. The mechanics, still cooking, but the ceiling for that he has is definitely franchise changing. Josh Pate put him as number one quarterback in his rankings for SEC. He's got that Anthony Richardson blend. If Anthony Richardson decided to stay in college, the cannon type of arm and explosive frames that you like to see, where that show of flashes of brilliance, but with fewer injuries, more composure at the line of scrimmage, more composure on the same stage. That's where it's the differentiating factor, and why DJ Lagway, with better footwork, better accuracy, he can come in and he can project as a starter, and he projects as one of the number one overall picks type of energy if he continues to level up. He still got some time. Then it gets even nastier. That guy, Dylan Stewart, just chaos off the edge. And it's not just him. It's Dylan Stewart at South Carolina and Texas's Colin Simmons are on a direct collision course to just fill needs for NFL teams that are looking for freakish edge type of players. Co- Colin Simmons, I talked to him on a previous episode, but bro, he's bendy, lean, relentless, mean, and he bullies offensive linemen, bro. In the SEC, he already posted an 18.6 pressure rate and won National Freshman of the Year. And Dylan Stewart, he's built like in that Jadeveon Clowney type of mold. And South Carolina fans, you know what I'm talking about. He just posted 51 pressures in a 91.4 pass rush grade at 17 years old. What are you talking about right now, Moon? I'm talking about instant weapons. I'm talking about young stars coming in, and I know these Jazz scouts are looking like, whoa, got some dogs out here. And then look at my dog, man. Look at my dog. Jeremiah Smith might be the headliner, but don't blink on the depth because Mr. G Unit Energy himself, who was 17 all last season, posted 865 yards, showed elite burst, routing up DBs like it was nothing. He's going to be in the mix. Then you got Cam Coleman, who had the widest catch radius in the SEC, and he dominated the final stretch of 2024. He's catching hospital balls every week and still showing out. But now he has Jackson Arnold as his quarterback, former Elite 11 MVP, hoping that he can turn himself back into that 5-star prospect that he knows he is. Yeah, good luck covering that type of stuff. The 2027 wide receiver class isn't just deep, it's terrifyingly advanced because every top corner in the NFL just felt their job security start shaking underneath them. Because in a couple of years, man, if you're not on your apex, you about to get routed up. I can already tell you. And it doesn't just stop with him, bro. Leonard Moore, corner at Notre Dame, moves like he's reading your playbook and he already studied it before the game started. Notre Dame has a 6'2" sophomore that gave up just 16 completions in man coverage. That's not sticky, bro. That's suffocating. Like, come here, Moon. You're not going nowhere. It feel like Baby Boy when Melvin came up behind Jody and put him in a chokehold. What you do? What you say, Jody? That's what Leonard Moore does to wide receivers on the field. Relentless. He's that type of energy, bro. He's going to be projecting as a prototype corner and maybe the quarterback one of the class of 2027. 100%. He is good. And then it doesn't stop there, bro. KJ Bolden. A former number one recruit who already looks like Georgia's next secondary safety pipeline prospect. And I know they just sent Malachi to the league. And I know. But look, physical, fast, relentless, Georgia dog through and through. Defensive anchor that's going to be highly recognized in this 2027 class. Then you got Coy Parrish. Coy Parrish might be a steal of this class is coming up. A 3-star turned 5-star. 5 picks, elite coverage, top shelf defense on the run. He's Minnesota's silent assassin and a true center fielder with fangs. Coy is going to be like that. He's going to be like that. Jordan Seaton, I didn't forget about you. Jordan Seaton is the blueprint of left tackle. He came in and last year, Colorado's offensive line started getting all these punchlines and everything. He said, I'm going to come and protect Shador. So as a 285-pound freshman, he protected Shador on his blind side better than anyone else did on that entire roster. Then he showed up this offseason at 330 pounds. What did you just say, Moon? He started and came out with his college career at 285 pounds as a freshman. This year, he's coming in at 330 pounds, quick feet, grown man strength. Seaton is going to be one of the top offensive linemen coming out in 2027. And you talk about urgency, man. It gets crazy because you then look at beyond the stars. You look at just the underrated gems. Bryant Wesco may be wide receiver 3 in the ACC, but he's wide receiver 1 in open field poetry. He can get the job done. He torched SMU in the ACC title game like it was nothing. He's going to be a smooth operator, like Sade said. Smooth operator. He got that burst after that catch. That's what you need to see. And then I didn't even talk about Isaac Brown, who we mentioned earlier in the show. But Isaac Brown, 1,168 yards, 7.2 yards per carry as a true freshman. You're definitely going on people's radars. And he wasn't even a top 40 running back recruit. But that burst will actually think he's a top 40 running back recruit. Like these guys that I'm talking about right now, I didn't even get even deeper. And notice how I didn't mention a name that most people automatically assume is going to come out in 2026, but Arch Manning. Arch Manning, I'm projected is coming out in 2027. So that's going to make this class even more stacked. Lenore is probably coming out this year. Cade for sure is coming out this year, 2026. We got other quarterbacks. Nussmeier is going to come out 2026. So we look at who's the next cream of the crop, who's the next guys after this. This class is freakish, and it's about to change everything. And you can call what I'm talking about hype if you want to, but don't say that you weren't warned. Don't say that I didn't try to warn you. I didn't try to put you on game. That I didn't try to let you know that there's some dogs out here that need to get some love. Because if they were eligible for the NFL draft this year, they probably would have been gone already. Tell me there's a GM for around the NFL that went and took Jeremiah Smith in the first round in the 2025 NFL draft. They would. Because he balled out like it. Their seasons that we're anticipating on the horizon. I already talked to you about freshmen that I think that's going to come in and be even more filthy. Just projecting for this year. Not we're looking for the next Jeremiah Smiths. We're looking for the next Ryan Williams, those type of throwback guys that can change the day. And, it's generational. It really can be generational or the elite of the elite. But I'm still looking at this freshman class and saying, man, 2028 going to be crazier. Bryce Underwood, he's at Michigan. Malik Washington at Maryland. DeCorian Moore in Oregon. Gideon Davison, running back, Clemson. Javen Boggs, Florida State wide receiver, who's a route running guru. Dallas Wilson, wide receiver from Florida, keeps balling out like he's doing in the spring game, and he's got a great path. David Sanders going to get instant playing time, Tennessee lineman. Jakeem Stewart, defensive end at USC. I already said that this man is going to be looking at the NFL draft in about 4 years, 3 years possibly. Elijah Griffin from Georgia. It just keeps going, bro. It keeps going from DJ Pickett to Devin Sanchez at Ohio State, Michael Carroll on offensive line at Alabama. Like, bro, it keeps going on and on. So these next two classes from 2027, 2028, I feel like they're going to be better than what we getting right now in 2024, 2025, 2026, because these next kids is coming out. I don't know what they are feeding these kids. I don't know why Dexter built them in the lab, but somehow, some way, these kids are coming to the college football world and absolutely setting our hairs ablaze, just setting the world on fire. That's what you need to know that's going on in the world of CFB. Man, we talked about a lot on this episode. Jam-packed one on a college football Saturday. Man, we are 9 weeks away from college football season. 9 weeks from the college football season, man. I'm super excited. We will be kicking off the CFB Nation tour. Hopefully at the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta. Those that don't know, I stay in Atlanta, so it's kind of easy to start the tour there. HBCU football, Southern versus North Carolina Central. I am counting it down, baby. We're gonna be like that this year. For everybody that tuned into the show today, you are greatly appreciated. Love you, man. Stay safe. To all the fallen soldiers that didn't get a chance to make it to this point, with EA Sports College Football 26 dropping yesterday, the deep dive. Man, what a time to be alive in college football, man. And I love this game. I truly do. I love you watching the content, sharing, supporting, commenting, engaging. Really, I really just try to give y'all educational content and stories. I'm a storyteller, so I like to take the stories and the research that I bring and I do behind the scenes and just bring it onto life and just, give it to you in a way that most people won't. Most people are not going to be talking about San Jose State. That's just the facts in the world we live in. But somebody got to do it in a way that feels calculated, precise, intentional, and ultimately caring. Because I care. I definitely care about the entirety of the world of college football. On the next episode for tomorrow, because we will be going live tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Yes, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. I'm gonna talk to you about Timmy Chang and his return to glory, and what he's trying to do with Micah Elahado and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow on the show. We're also gonna get into a deeper dive into the cornerback position and talk about some of the best cornerback rooms in all of college football, and also let you know about the deep dive for in anticipation for the next deep dive for EA Sports College Football 26, because we will be live for that too. Keep your notification bell on. Make sure you turn it on. If you enjoy the content, all I ask is that you share it with somebody and then turn a college football fan, turn somebody into a college football fan. What's we got with the comments? North Texas is producing a lot of great size and speed at the high school level. It's translated to the college level. Facts, Big Mario. Appreciate your engagement and your activity, man. Drop the knowledge on folks. This man knows ball. Appreciate you, Big Mario. You're definitely a friend of me. For everybody, stay connected. You can follow me on CFB Moon on Twitter. That's CFB Moon on Twitter if you want to engage and talk more. Ball talk. And until the next episode, we got a lot of stories to cover. We got 60 something days before the season starts. I'm really pushing my deep dives out now. So y'all probably gonna get like a deep dive every day at some point. That's my goal. Because we gotta hit on all cylinders. We put in the work now. By the time the season starts, deeper than all the praise and the accolades, we'll just know more ball. We'll know more teams. We'll know more. My goal by the time that we get to the season, if you're watching this show and you watch them all the way from episode 1 to where we are now, I think at episode 30 plus, bro, you're gonna know ball. You're gonna know the players that we're looking at beyond just the power four. You're gonna know a little bit about everything. And this is all because of the world of college football. Until next time, my friend, stay safe, enjoy your Saturday. And man, we are counting down college football like no other. DCFBNation.com for all your latest in the college football world. And special shout out to our hosts and our sponsors. I'm your boy Moon signing out. Until next time, my friend.